guys, welcome back to my channel and time for another episode of Luke's Reviews. On today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a brand new Predator movie because Dan Trachtenberg, seemingly I think, is now just only doing Predator movies, and that's kind of fine by me. He is churning them out like it is nobody's business. This marking his third feature Predator film. Not only that, it is the second one he's made this year. Yes, we're going to be looking at Predator Badlands. Switching up the formula ever so slightly, Predator Badlands poses the question, what if the protagonist of the movie was actually the Predator? We're introduced to Deck, somewhat the runt of his litter, and determined to prove himself as a worthy yautja and earn his cloak. He soon finds himself on a distant and extremely deadly planet, one where he discovers that he is not the most fearsome predator in these parts, and by partnering up with a bubbly synthetic, must utilize all of his skills just to stay alive. We are now 9 films into the Predator franchise, and yes, I am counting the Alien vs. Predator films, even though they are utterly abysmal. But at this point, we have a very tried and tested formula of a group of humans with one clear individual being the lead hero, being essentially hunted by a merciless and fearsome killer. Lately, Trachtenberg has begun to enjoy his time in the Predator sandbox. He gave us thrilling action in the time of Native Americans in Prey, and also flexed his skills even further with Predator Killer of Killers, a fantastic anthological animation recounting battles across time against different yautja facing off against feared warriors. But I think it's safe to say that Badlands is Trachtenberg's biggest swing yet, making the Predator the hero of the story. We're used to seeing these ugly motherfuckers ripping out human spines and just hunting people down for sport. And we're now positioning that type of character as the good guy. However, early on, there is a prologue to establish our set of circumstances here. We get a bit more of an explanation of the Yautja code that really just helps expand the world. It helps us understand the canon of Yautja, of the Predators, that little bit more. But also, we're able to understand the character of Deck, why he is forcing himself to go on this expedition, to find the deadliest creature of all and bring it back as a confirmed kill. It also helps that you're making the character such a badass, and yet stripping him of all of his gadgets and weaponry. Because when Deck arrives on Gunnar, which is the aforementioned deadly planet, he doesn't have his typical predator type weapons or technology. So he is forced to rely on pure survival instincts only. It essentially makes him the underdog because he's outmatched. He's outclassed a lot of the time. As a result, you can't help but therefore root for him. In a roundabout way, to humanize Deck even more, the script pairs him with the chatty and almost annoyingly sprightly Thea, a damaged synthetic whom Deck carries with him due to her knowledge on his aspiring trophy kill. It's a dynamic that we have seen plenty of times before, the whole disgruntled brute who barely says a word and clearly has just one goal in mind, who is somewhat worn down by the relentless enthusiasm of their companion. It's just that I never expected an angle such as this to feature in a Predator movie. Luckily for us all, Trachtenberg is deliberately employing a playful quality within this film. It's something I've never seen a Predator movie even attempt to explore, let alone successfully do it. It did run a risk of losing its form of identity. I think it ever so slightly occasionally dipped into Guardians of the Galaxy type territory. There were perhaps a little too many jokes for my liking. But that being said, the lighter tone, the occasional moments of humor, and a real emotional investment in Deck's story turn this into a Predator movie that we've never seen the likes of before, but a Predator movie that I got a serious kick out of. I will say though, just because there are jokes in this film, it doesn't mean that when it gets down to the nitty gritty, Predator Badlands delivers. And I had my concerns because over in the UK, it's been rated a 12A. Typically, we're used to Predators like punching through people's chests, incinerating them, blowing them to smithereens. It never normally pulls back on the violence, but the 12A, you've got to rein it in slightly. But Trachtenberg is very clever because we get savage killings, we get dismemberments, disembowels, things being chopped off left, right, and center, things being squashed and crushed. It's gnarly, it's gory, but they've played the certification companies at their own game because all of this violence is not happening to humans. So there isn't any like red blood being spilled. It's either being done towards these other synthetics or these giant kaiju-like monsters. It's extremely clever. So at no point did I feel like it was pulling its punches. The creature and overall world design, it's top-notch visual effects work, and that's refreshing to see because the past few Predator movies, especially all of the ones that Dan Trachtenberg has done, have just gone straight onto Disney Plus. So to actually see them back on the big screen, it was really cool. The makeup and the prosthetics are all fantastic. I mean, look, the Yautja mask, it's legit. I mean, there's CGI tweaks here and there, but you can look at the behind the scenes stuff. That thing is physical. It's practical. It's real. The sound design too is great. Whether it is just the roar of the beasties on this planet, Deck just laying waste to these creatures, swords slicing through flesh, guts just pouring out. It's gross. It's gross as it should be. It's a Predator movie. There's like a delightful nastiness to the film that I think studios nowadays are just a little too hesitant to ever explore. As far as negatives go, I kind of mentioned it's probably a little too quippy for my liking, or at least for what I want in a Predator movie. And I will say, this is hardly the most intelligent film of the year. The groundwork is pretty much there within like the first 5-10 minutes of the film, so you can kind of just sit back, enjoy some big creature blockbuster action thrown in your face for just shy of 2 hours. At times, I think the script trips over its feet a little. There's a plot thread involving the synthetics, and it takes probably a bit too much time out of its own way to explore that, and I don't think the film really needed to bother all that much. Ultimately, though, Predator Badlands is a prime example of a film where you have the opportunity to switch off the outside world for 2 hours, see some cool sci-fi action nonsense, watch a badass Yautja lay waste to a ton of kaiju-like creatures, all the while you have a blast doing it. If that is something that you like going to the movies for, then I would wager you'll enjoy Predator Badlands. So I'm going to give Predator Badlands a 7.5 out of 10. Anyway, guys, those were my thoughts on Predator Badlands. Let me know, have you had a chance to see the film yet? What did you think? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. But my question to you, look, I don't think the train is necessarily going to stop for Dan Trachtenberg. I'm seeing reports that he's got hundreds of ideas for Predator movies, and if they keep being at this quality, then I'm absolutely fine. But if you would like to see a director make a Predator movie, who is it? But that's all the time we have for today, so thank you very much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Hello, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have, make sure to click that like button, and if you aren't already, click that subscribe button too.